Hey everybody, this is Anthony from VR Game Rankings, and welcome to another episode of our daily vlog series. This, of course, is episode 19 for Thursday, October 26th. And so first off, I want to talk about yesterday and why my video was so late and problems with the video and stuff like that. So what I wanted to tell you guys is, I don't know what was going on with YouTube yesterday. I did have some problems with my video and I had to run it through another video editor. It was just a big mess up. I don't know, something happened in my recording about halfway through. My video just stopped for a couple of minutes. And normally I don't do any editing with this, but it was a really bad situation. So I had to clip that little section out of there, and it just delayed everything. It delayed my episode probably about 2 hours later than it would normally be up. Now that would be the scenario if there wasn't a problem on YouTube, but somehow there was a crazy problem on YouTube. You could not upload videos. There's probably a lot of other YouTubers that you normally get videos from them every day, and their videos were probably delayed as well. There was just something wrong with YouTube's upload, or they were just overwhelmed with too many uploads. I don't know what happened, but my video, the daily vlog episode 18, it wasn't live on my YouTube channel until really late in the day. A lot of people probably thought, oh, there isn't going to be a daily vlog for Wednesday, but there was a daily vlog, and I did have to snip a little part out of that episode, but it's there. You guys can watch that. So I just wanted to kind of explain that real quick. Also, this episode is being delayed a little bit. This is coming up late as well. Now, hopefully I won't have any of these YouTube uploading problems, and hopefully my video will not break up and I won't have to do any special editing or anything as far as that goes. But this video might be a little bit late because, you know what, I waited around to start this video so that I could get the information about the Steam sale. There is, of course, a Steam sale that is active right now, and I had to wait. It was a long time. I had to wait until 10 something for the Steam sale information to finally come up, because I wanted to see, you know, what games are on sale, what are the best deals, and then we can kind of talk about that a little bit. And so finally the information did come up. I was just about to start this show and be like, oh, well, I don't know when this Steam sale information is going to go live, but I thought, well, let me just check it one more time. I checked it one more time, and bam, there it was. So I got all the information. So here's the deal about this Steam sale for today and for this weekend. Basically, this is a Halloween sale, okay? So you're not going to get a discount on Winlands or something that has nothing to do with any kind of Halloween type of thing. So there's only so many VR games that are actually on sale. But what I did was I took a look at the list and I basically copied all of the stuff that I think is pretty decent and the stuff that has pretty big discounts, and I thought we could go over that a little bit. Okay, so one of the games that I have on this list is actually technically not a VR game, but we know that there is a VR mod available, and that is Alien Isolation. So we've heard a lot of great things about this Alien Isolation VR mod. We've heard a lot of great things. This was ranked really high on the Oculus Top 100 chart. I think on the most recent Oculus Top 100, it's ranked really high. I think it's in the top 20, actually. I'd have to double check that, but it's ranked really high on the Oculus charts, and then on the HTC Vive charts, it's ranked pretty high as well. And this is a VR mod. This game doesn't have VR standard. You have to buy the game, and then you have to go download a file and you patch the file into the game folder, and then you'll get it up and running in VR. And the VR mod is supposed to work pretty damn good. So $11.99 for this game. That is 70% off its normal price. So if you've been interested in trying the VR mod for Alien Isolation, but you saw the price of it and you're like, damn, that's a lot of money, I don't want to do that. Well, now here it is. It's $12, and you can try this incredible horror thriller out. Now, personally, I'm a little bit I'm a little bit too scared to deal with Alien Isolation. I'm pretty good with a lot of horror games, but the idea of the alien and being in a dark hallway and running away from the alien, that is terror, man. That is real terror there. So I don't think I'm going to pick this one up. It's a little bit, this is one of the few where it might actually get to me a little bit. It might be a little overpowering for me. So I'm going to go ahead and avoid this one. But if you're really into horror and you need a new horror VR game, Alien Isolation, not a bad way to go for $12. Narcosis is $10. This is 50% off. That's a pretty good one. Brookhaven. Oh my God, Brookhaven is $9.99. It's 50% off. And I want to talk about Brookhaven here for just a second because I truly believe that Brookhaven Experiment is probably one of the very best VR games that we have, period. I mean, man, this game just doesn't get much respect at all. You hardly ever hear people talking about the Brookhaven Experiment, but I love the Brookhaven Experiment. It's a classic wave shooter. It's your normal wave shooter game, but it does it so well. And the gunplay is great. The graphics are good. It's visceral. It's a 360-degree experience, especially if you're on the HTC Vive. I'm not too sure how it works on PlayStation VR and on Oculus Rift. I actually have not tried this yet via the Oculus Rift. And sometimes with games that are truly 360, when they get on the Rift, because they assume most people only have two sensors, sometimes they kind of hamstring the game a little bit. That's kind of the case with raw data. So I'm not sure how Brookhaven is on the Oculus Rift. Hopefully they've added some kind of 360 mode for people with 3 and 4 sensors to really take advantage of that. But oh my goodness, man, Brookhaven is one of the most underrated VR games, period. Like, Brookhaven is a top 50 VR game, like overall, like all the VR games, if you put them all out there, Brookhaven is top 50, and I don't think people realize this. Now, for me personally, I haven't completely finished Brookhaven all the way. And part of the reason I haven't is there's these bug creatures that are in Brookhaven. And there's something about bugs, man. I don't know. I have, like, the worst fear that I have is if I were to see bugs the size of humans or the size of cars or like really large bugs, that would scare the living daylights out of me. And that's kind of what you get in certain points of Brookhaven. It's mostly zombies and stuff like that, but you'll get into situations where there's some creepy crawly things. And the crazy part about it is it's the sound. It's not even the visual of the creepy crawly, it's the sound, because the 3D audio is so good. You'll hear you'll hear something running around behind you and you know, oh shit, it's one of those goddamn bugs. And they shoot out webs at you. They'll cover you in webs. Oh my God, it will make me scream like a little girl. No joke. Brookhaven Experiment, so underrated. I can't believe it. If you guys don't have this game, and if you're not scared, like too scared of it, $10 is a no-brainer. So underrated. Just can't believe it. Okay, Ghost Town Mine Ride. This game has gotten a lot of good publicity from certain people that have played it. This one is $6.74. It's 25% off. A lot of people compare this to Rush of Blood on PlayStation VR. Rush of Blood, easily one of the 5 best PlayStation VR games there is, period. And a lot of people say that Ghost Town Mine Ride, which is on the Vive, and you can play it on Oculus as well, Ghost Town Mine Ride is almost as good as Rush of Blood. At least that's what some people have said. I have personally not played Ghost Town Mine Ride. I believe Gary was the one that handled our review. I think we have a review of it on VR Game Rankings, and I'm pretty sure Gary actually wrote that review. But Ghost Town Mine Ride is a pretty good game for under $7, so that's a pretty decent one there. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. I don't know how much of a horror game this is, but this game is $5.98, so basically $6. It's 80% off, which sounds incredible, but the truth is it's probably overpriced in the first place. So you can get The Vanishing of Ethan Carter for $6. Now, the way that you have to play this, I believe, is with a controller, but a lot of people recommend you stand up, you hold your controller, and you push forward, and so if you're going this direction, you stand that direction. If you want to go that direction, you turn, you push forward. And then if you're going to play a controller based game but you still want some of that immersion, I think that's the best way to do it. Vanishing of Ethan Carter at $6, 80% off. Paranormal Activity is $25. That's 38% off. I don't know that that's the greatest deal. Again, that's a game that's probably overpriced anyway. So $25, I don't know that anybody is going to run quickly to Steam to get Paranormal Activity because that's such a great deal. But, it's decent. And it is, we're talking about Halloween weekend here. So if you do want some horror games, Paranormal Activity is pretty good from that standpoint. Arizona Sunshine, I don't know how much I would call it a horror game. It's more of an action adventure thriller with some horror elements, but hey, whatever. So 25% off for Arizona Sunshine, so you can get this for $30 instead of $40, so you save $10. And if you've never picked up Arizona Sunshine, not a bad idea. Arizona Sunshine is easily one of the 10 best VR games that we have, period. It's just a high quality title, and it does a lot of things very well. So if you've never picked that up, you can get a $10 discount on that. That's not too bad. Duck Season is a very recent release, and this one is knocked 25% off. It's down to $16.99, so $17 for Duck Season. Now on VR Roundtable, we talked about Duck Season, and the price of $19.99 was kind of at the maximum level. Like, I could still recommend Duck Season, especially to somebody that's really has that retro gaming nostalgia factor, because Duck Season has a lot of that. Now, it's on a Halloween sale because there is some horror elements. I don't want to really spoil it, but there are some horror elements in Duck Season. $17, so it's a bit of a discount off of, I believe, maybe its normal price is $24.99. Anyway, but Duck Season is down to $17. Not a bad deal if you were thinking about getting Duck Season and didn't get around to picking that up. Dread Halls is $7.49. This is 25% off. Dread Halls, I put it up there with Brookhaven from the standpoint of being underrated. Now, I'd much rather have Brookhaven personally, but Dread Halls is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And in fact, if you really like Vanishing Realms, now you might think Vanishing Realms and Dread Halls, how do these things go together? Well, they don't really go together, but what I'll say about Dread Halls is when you're in the world of Dread Halls and you're looking at the hallways and you're looking at the architecture and that type of thing in this place that you're in, it is very Vanishing Realms like. It kind of has a look of Vanishing Realms. I apologize, guys, because there are like airplanes and stuff that are flying overhead, and if I delay this show any longer, you just never know. Then a neighbor turns on their lawnmower or a giant delivery truck comes rumbling by. There's always something happening, so I apologize for airplane noises flying overhead. If you guys hear that, I need a soundproof room is what I really need. But going back to Dread Halls, there's just something about the architecture of that environment that I like it. I like the graphics. I like the look of it. It just, I don't know, there's something about it that kind of does it for me. Now, I've always said when it comes to Dread Halls, you can call this game Run Like Hell. Like, that could be its title, Run Like Hell, because basically that's what you're going to do. You will encounter jump scares, situations where you basically need to turn around and run the other freaking way. Now, there are a couple of different monsters where you actually don't want to run. You just want to stand perfectly still, and then it won't be able to detect you. But for the most part, you want to hightail it in the other direction. But I've always felt like Dread Halls doesn't get nearly enough respect. A chair in the room. How many times have I mentioned a chair in the room? I've never played a chair in the room. This is down to $12.49. It's 50% off. That's a great deal. I might actually pick this up, guys. I might actually pick this up. I know I always say that I need to play new games. I don't have time to play these old games. And I know this Exorcist game is coming out from the same developers really any day now. I think it's going to be an episodic type of thing, but I believe the first episodes are coming out right around Halloween. Well, Halloween is this weekend, right? Or early next week or whatever. So we should hear about that very soon. Haven't heard anything, but if you want the original, this is the #1 ranked horror game on vrgamerankings.com. We have a top 20 horror games, and A Chair in the Room is #1. It is ranked ahead of Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation VR. So A Chair in a Room, it's $12.50. This is 50% off. If you've never picked this up, it is a great opportunity to get A Chair in the Room. So those are some of the games there. I didn't list every single game. I looked at the list that they had of what was on sale, and these were the ones that stuck out to me. Now, what do I think is the best value overall? You know, looking at these prices and considering the quality of these games, I go back to Brookhaven, man. Brookhaven is just incredibly underrated. I can't say enough about it. It's a great game. It's a great wave shooter. Now, if you get too scared, I understand that because it is scary. It's a visceral game. I broke my Vive controller. My original Vive controller that got broken, I broke it playing Brookhaven. And you know why I broke it playing Brookhaven? For a while there, what I was doing is, you know Michonne from The Walking Dead, how she always uses her sword to slice zombies and stuff? Well, in Brookhaven, you have a knife that you can use, and you have your gun. And you can switch to the knife because you can save your ammunition. So you can save the ammunition from the gun and just use the knife for the easy zombies that you have to kill. And what I was doing is I was just using my knife. I wasn't using my flashlight. I was saving my flashlight batteries, and I was just using my knife, and I was waiting for these foot soldier zombies to come, and they would get close to me, and I would just slice the living crap out of them. And for me, when I play Brookhaven, I get into this feeling where it's like a kill or be killed dream. I have a lot of these dreams sometimes where I'm in a situation where somebody or something is trying to kill me, and the only way I can survive is if I kill them. And I don't want to kill them, but I don't want to die. And so it's like kill or be killed, you know, that's kind of the situation. And so in Brookhaven, I was using my knife, and I get into that mode, man. I just get pumped, and I get into that mode, and I was slicing and dicing. And what happened is there's this thing right here. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it's this metal bar that's connected to this table where this monitor right here is sitting on. And I was way the hell out of my play space. My play space is more over there, but I had wandered all the way over here, and I was swinging my knife at a zombie, and I smacked it right on here. And ever since then, I loosened something inside the Vive wand, and the tracking was just kind of off. Like on that controller, the tracking would kind of trail off a little bit. I still use that controller for like 4 months, but I used it as my left-hand controller. And then I finally bit the bullet, and I bought a brand new Vive controller, which was like $155 or something with shipping and tax and all that. It was pretty ridiculous. But Brookhaven Experiment, that would be my #1 recommendation. I just think it's a ridiculous value. And then probably A Chair in the Room. I mean, $12.50, it's our #1 horror game. You know, so many people rant and rave about A Chair in the Room. And the thing about A Chair in the Room too is if you really have the room scale space, that's what really makes that game shine. And because I do have a big room scale space, I think I am going to pick this up for $12.50. I'm going to go ahead and buy this and bite the bullet because I've never played it. I've always wanted to play it, so here's my opportunity. So that is the Steam sale for today, and you know, it's a Halloween-based sale, so we're not getting all kinds of VR games, just kind of Halloween and horror and thriller type themed games that are on sale today. Okay, the next topic I have is Theseus. So Theseus is a PlayStation, well, was a PlayStation VR game by Forge Reply Games. I believe they're an Italian developer. And Theseus is launching today on Steam. Now, the regular price is $19.99, but it does have a launch sale for $17.99. So you can pick it up for 18 bucks instead of 20. On November 2nd, it'll go back to 20 bucks. And I played this game yesterday, actually. I played the Steam version. VR Roundtable got a code. We were sent a code by Forge Reply to be able to try this game, because I think we talked about the PlayStation version quite a bit. Both me and Steve really liked the PlayStation version. I mean, we both had problems with it, but overall we liked the experience, and we kind of recommended the experience. And I played it yesterday. I played the Steam VR version. I was playing it, of course, on my Oculus Rift, but it worked absolutely fine. This is also on the Oculus Store as well. It's $17.99 on the Oculus Store as well. You can get it on Steam, of course. And so I played through probably like half of this game yesterday, maybe even more than half. I just got in it and started playing it. And it's one of those kinds of games. The thing about Theseus that I have to warn people about is this is a game that you could finish in one afternoon, okay? And I'm kind of worried for the developers. I remember saying this back when we were talking about the PlayStation VR version. The thing that I was worried about is how short it is. And I remember telling Steve, and I think I said, man, when this game comes to Steam, I hope people don't really take advantage of this return policy to basically, you could probably play the entire game in under 2 hours if you just make a beeline and you don't make any mistakes and you hardly die. You can probably run through the entire game in 2 hours, because I think Steve finished the PSVR version in slightly under 2 hours. Now, it took me about 2.5 hours. But that's one of the worries I have. So if you're worried about really short games and you hate these short games that don't have tons of hours, you want to stay away from Theseus. The other thing too, this is a sit-down controller-based game. This is not motion controls or anything like this. This is a third-person game. You know who I would recommend Theseus to is if you absolutely loved Chronos. Theseus is similar. If you loved Edge of Nowhere, Theseus is very similar to that. It kind of has that God of War type perspective where you're kind of behind the character, over the shoulder, and what'll happen is in different rooms, very similar to Chronos, you'll have a very specific perspective and you're moving your Theseus guy, you're moving him around, but every once in a while it'll have a camera view where you're right behind him and he's big and he's tall and he's right there in front of you, kind of like Edge of Nowhere. And so you go through this game, and for me, the thing that I loved about it is there's great atmosphere, there's great lighting, the architecture is really cool. It has a pretty cool vibe to it. What I was disappointed with, though, in playing this yesterday is I really did not notice any graphical improvement. There might be a little bit of an improvement in like maybe the number of polygons and stuff that are used for some of the stuff, but I played this on the PlayStation 4 Pro and there isn't much of an improvement at all. In fact, I think this version has worse screen door. PSVR actually does a little bit better with screen door because of that sub-pixel technology that Sony has, and I kind of noticed some more screen door playing it on the Oculus Rift that I played yesterday. But Theseus, it's a pretty good game, but I don't know. I mean, for the money, it's like my recommendation is kind of It's like if you absolutely loved Chronos, you absolutely loved Edge of Nowhere, and if you're willing to deal with the fact that you can probably bang through this thing in an afternoon, it's a decent game to play. It definitely is. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was one of I look back on it with fond memories, but now that we're on the PC, like I kind of feel like if this was $9.99, I would have no problem recommending it to everybody. At $18 or $20, it's more of a, you got to make that decision, you know, because I mean, you look at the sales that are going on right now, you could pick up a chair in a room and Dreadhalls for almost the same price that you would get Theseus. So you have to kind of consider that. But anyway, it does launch today and it's a pretty cool game. It's by Forge Reply Games. My next little news story is the NVIDIA 1070 Ti. Okay, so this This was announced a little bit earlier, but I think it was maybe a rumor. I don't know if it was officially announced, but we have gotten release date and pricing for the 1070 Ti. So this is coming out November 2nd, very soon. You can place pre-orders right now, and the price is $450. I think that's for the regular Founders Edition. Now, here's the deal. So where does this video card slot in comparison to, say, a regular 1070 or a 1080? Like, where does it fit in that category? So here's the deal. Compared to the regular 1070, I believe it has doubled the memory bus, okay? And then it has additional cores. And some people will say, well, this is basically a 1080. Not quite. It's not quite a 1080. It's not quite up to a regular 1080 level. It's beyond a 1070, and honestly, with this being $450 and considering that the 1070 hasn't really dropped in price to compensate for this, I don't know why anyone in their right mind would buy a 1070 right now. You would either buy this or you'd buy a 1080. Now, I need a video card. I need one bad. I'm still rocking an old ass 970. So do I run out and get this? You know, I could pre-order this right now. I could get a Founders Edition. Founders Editions are kind of crappy. You normally want to wait for the aftermarket versions that have better cooling. They're quieter, stuff like that. But I'm kind of torn, man. I'm kind of torn. You know, I go back to the fact that, I don't know, it might have been 5, 6, 7 months ago. I was this close. I was so very close to buying a 1080 for like $435 on this like Newegg deal. That it was like a one-time deal. It was an eBay thing and you had to be quick. I barely missed it. I was so very close. It was $430 for a brand new 1080. There might have been some shipping and tax in addition to that, but it was a screaming deal. I was so close, and I remember thinking, oh well, that deal will come along again. Well, 5, 6 months later, that deal has evaporated like you wouldn't believe. You can't get anywhere near a regular 1080 for $430. It's not going to happen. So I barely missed out on that. And ever since then, I've kind of just been looking for a decent deal and just haven't been able to find anything. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting. The $450 price and all of that, it is pretty interesting. I think my strategy, though, still is, my take is December 12th is when I absolutely need to probably upgrade my video card for the arrival of Fallout 4. And I'm still going to try to take a wait and see approach, because you know what? Craigslist locally, there's always video cards that seem to go on sale, and somebody will probably dump their regular 1080 and they're jumping up to a 1080 Ti or whatever, and I might be able to pick that up. So I think I'm going to hold off and not jump on this right away. I know everybody is probably like, dude, come on, buy a freaking new video card. You need a new video card. Your 970 is so outdated. You're complaining about performance issues in some of these games, and you shouldn't be complaining about it. I know Arrowin X is probably saying, dude, come on, buy this. But I'm going to hold off for a little bit. I'm okay. I'm okay. My 970 is holding up pretty good. I've been playing Talos Principle and Heart of the Emberstone, and those are running great. You know, I had to change some settings on Talos, but it's running perfectly. So the 970 is still a pretty damn good performer. I mean, I've played Lone Echo with it, Killing Floor Incursion with it. There really aren't hardly any games that I've like struggled dramatically. Like Soul Keeper VR is like the only one that I can think of, and that game is a pile of you know what, so no need to worry about that. So anyway, that is the NVIDIA 1070. Okay, Blade Runner 2049 Memory Lab. This was supposed to release today. Now, the last time I checked it, because I tried to check right before this show to see, okay, is it finally on the Oculus Store? Last time I checked, this wasn't on the Oculus Store. Supposedly it's coming today. I can tell you this, if I get a chance, if this does come to the Oculus Store today, I definitely want to try this. I want to see, I like trying these different experiences. I remember the Ghost in the Shell one. A lot of people shat all over that and said it was terrible. I actually kind of like that little VR experience. I mean, it's nothing life-changing. It's not anything incredible, but it still could be pretty decent. I'd like to try that out. Okay, so I'm almost out of time here, But one thing I wanted to talk about before I check out, and I can go to, say, the 35-minute mark or something like that, so I can give myself a little extra time. Talos Principle. I was wrong. I was wrong. Talos Principle is dope. This game is legit. I am wrong. Okay, yeah, it is a puzzle game. It is a puzzle game. And what I said on VR Roundtable is like, I'm not sure that there's any puzzle game that is worth $40 to me personally, because puzzle games are not my preferred genre. I like puzzle games, but I don't like them that much where I would throw $40 at it. However, as I continue to play the Talos Principle, I'm falling deeper and deeper in love with it. And it just has a great vibe, man. This is very much like Zing. These are very similar games in terms of the vibe that they give you, and just this amazing world that you're in. The difference, okay, so Talos Principle is double the price, and I do have to consider that. The price is a factor, and I have to understand that. But man, the more I play Talos Principle, the more I'm like, wow, these guys really freaking knocked it out of the park. Basically, this is like Portal. If you wanted Portal in VR, what are you waiting for? This is basically Portal. I mean, it's different in some ways, it's a little bit different, but there's a lot of good stuff here. There's like a story that's going on. It's a very isolating experience, but I'm still in this first area, with the island and stuff, in this first kind of environment. And I got to this point now where I'm near water, and there's a beach, and there's like an island over there, and I'm kind of exploring this area, and I'm getting my little Tetris blocks, and every time you get one of those Tetris blocks and it makes a little jingling noise, and then you look at your wrist and the little things show up, it feels so good. And when you are stuck and you can't figure out what the hell to do, you do feel like a dumbass. I mean, that's with all puzzle games, right? But the Talos Principle, man, it really is impressing me every time I play it. I'm more and more impressed. And the way I understand it, this game has like 20 hours of content. So a lot of people out there, you'll always hear the complaint when it comes to these VR games. Is there any full VR game? Is there any VR games that really have full length and it's like a real game and it has the real length? Well, here it is, man. Talos Principle is it. And I'm having a wonderful time in Talos Principle, and it's one of my it's funny because on the last VR Roundtable episode, I said that when I'm done with this episode, I want to go back into Emberstone, not Talos Principle. I'm more excited to get back into Emberstone. Well, now it's kind of flip-flopped. Now I'm more into Talos Principle than I am into Emberstone, although part of that has to do with Emberstone. The graphics of Emberstone are amazing. The sound design is amazing. There's certain things about Heart of the Emberstone that is just bam, like it's hitting you with a movie quality experience. You know how I said Lone Echo is like being in a sci-fi movie? Well, Emberstone is kind of being in some type of movie as well. It gives you that flavor of being inside a movie. The production values are so good. The sound design is amazing. I think the sound, like the doors opening and closing and just the things that you do with the little puzzles, but there's a lot of irritating things about Emberstone as well. There's a ton of loading. You got to load. It's loading. The loading is really painful in Emberstone. There's a lot of backtracking, and then a lot of the puzzles, if you don't go to the internet and you don't look at somebody's guide on how to solve this puzzle or that puzzle, you can end up stuck. I've been stuck in a bunch of portions of Emberstone thinking, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do now. And there's backtracking from one location to another, kind of a lot of busy work, it seems almost. But I'm still really liking Emberstone. But right now, Talos Principle has actually moved past it, in my opinion. But I'm still playing these games. Still don't have reviews for them because I want to be deep enough into the game to feel like I know what I'm reviewing. I don't want to give a score on a first level of a game. I got to get deep enough into the game. But I'm having fun with both Talos Principle and Emberstone. Both are solid games, really good games, and we're blessed to have such good VR games all hitting at the same time. I got to get back to Organ Quarter. Hell, I was having a ton of fun with Organ Quarter, and I haven't gotten back into that, and I want to definitely get back into that. I'm not sure if there's an additional sale on Organ Quarter or if it's that same sale, but that is a horror game, and so it might be part of the Steam sale as well. There might be a slightly better discount on Organ Quarter. I'd have to double check that. But anyway, guys, we are definitely past the 30-minute mark, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. So this was episode 19, right? Yeah, episode 19 of our daily vlog series for Thursday, October 26th. One thing I failed to mention on almost pretty much every single one of these episodes is please subscribe to the channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I always forget to ask for stuff like that, but it's something you got to do. And hey, man, smash that like button, smash the like button. I hate that. I hate when you watch a YouTube video and somebody says, smash the like button. Oh my God, it's so cringeworthy, but here I am doing the exact same thing. Yeah, smash that freaking like button and go ahead and leave a comment. I check all of the comments. I'll tell you that. I check all of the comments. I love the comments, and you can go ahead and ask a question or make a comment in the comments. Make a comment. You can ask a question or make a comment, and I might bring that up on one of the future episodes of the daily vlog. So, it's good to have that interactivity. I love seeing new subscribers, like the videos, comments, blah, 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 the old rigmarole, right? But anyway, that wraps it up for episode 19 for Thursday, October 26th, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.